Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so in the last class, we were discussing about anti-helminthics. We'll just briefly go over what we had discussed. Okay, what can you tell me about parental palmoate? We'll do one or two drugs. That's it. This was the first drug we discussed in the last class. What can you tell me about parental palmoate? What is the mechanism of action?
Sir,
Hmm.
parental palmate stimulates nicotinic choline in the receptor in the worm.
Nicotinic cholinergic receptors in the worm. Yes. What will
Yes.
happen because of
Then,
that? Hmm.
the contract of the muscles of the worm takes place continuously.
Okay, there'll be continuous contraction of the worm because of persistent depolarization. As soon as acetylcholine is acting on a muscle, it will cause depolarization. Now, because you are continuously stimulating the nicotinic receptor, essentially you are continuously stimulating the receptor that causes depolarization. There will be continuous depolarization leading to continuous contraction. Okay, this will lead to continuous contraction. And what happens because of continuous contraction?
So it leads to paralysis of the worm.
What type of paralysis?
Spastic,
Spastic paralysis.
Spastic paralysis. Spastic paralysis is similar to a spasm. Essentially, it is an extension of a spasm. Okay, that is why it is called a spastic paralysis. From spastic paralysis, what will happen if the worm is, even if it is undergoing spastic paralysis?
So
it
it
is
expelled
expelled
out.
out.
Do you need to give something to expel it out, or will it get expelled out as is? See, you are only paralyzing the worm in the intestine. You are not doing anything. See, essentially, there is peristalsis, yes, but because the worm is so big, there is a chance that that worm can stay inside your intestine, or even if it is moving, it will only move slightly. So, what will you do so as to expel the worm out completely? You can do something, no? You can give a particular type of drug. You can give a purgative. Okay, an agent that will clear bubbles. Constipation patients को जो drugs देते, ठीक है, so that their bowels are cleared, that same drug is given here as well. You have already paralyzed the worm. You need to make sure that the worm is getting out of the body. So you'll give a purgative in so as to make sure that a worm, if it is paralyzed, it will not be able to hook onto your small intestine or large intestine. So when you give a purgative, it will get out as is. Okay. All right. Um, that is one. What about the PK properties of parental palmate? What are the PK properties of parental palmate?
Well
Can you,
tolerated.
well tolerated. वो ADR है बेटा. What are the pharmacokinetic properties of parental palmate? How is the absorption? What is the method of metabolism and excretion?
Sir, orally absorption 10 to 15%.
Okay. Does not get absorbed very well, which is advantageous in our case because we want it to stay in the intestine and work. Okay.
Metabolized by kidney and excreted by urine.
ठीक है. All right. Adverse effects. Main adverse effects क्या रहते हैं इसके?
Sir, abdomen pain, dizziness, rashes, weakness.
Headache भी होता. Okay. Generally well tolerated. Can you give it in pregnancy?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
The safety is not established, so it is better not to give in pregnant women. All right. उसके अलावा Okay, what about ivermectin? We discussed about ivermectin as well, right? Ivermectin कैसा काम करता? What is the mechanism of action? Even though we don't know the exact mechanism of action, there is a theoretical mechanism of action that I told you.
So worm increase the GABA activity.
Because of increase in GABA activity, what will happen?
Paralysis of worm.
How? अच्छा, GABA करता क्या? What is GABA? Obviously, it is a neurotransmitter, but what type of neurotransmitter? आप लोग पढ़े क्या? I told you, look up neurotransmitters in physiology. It will become very easy for you to learn such chapters if you know the basis of physiology behind this. Acha, ek bar, after this class is done, read what GABA does, what each neurotransmitter does, what type. You will have stimulating and what do you call inhibiting type of neurotransmitters. So each will have their own functions. Some neurotransmitters will work dually, so they can be stimulating as well as inhibiting type of inhibitory type of neurotransmitters. Read into that. Okay. What you told is correct. It will work by increasing GABA activity. Essentially, what GABA does is it will open the chlorine channels. Because of increased amount of chlorine channel or its sudden increase in chlorine channel, there will be hyperpolarization of the worm, muscles of the worm. Essentially, what will happen is it will cause tonic paralysis, and ultimately the worm can be removed out of the body by giving a purgative. All right. ADRs. What are the ADRs of ivermectin? It will cause a very specific ADR, right?
Felt on nausea, vomiting.
Mhm. There will be a very specific reaction to microfilarial proteins. वो reaction को कुछ की बोलते हैं ना?
Hypersensitivity.
Yes, it is a type of hypersensitivity reaction. It is called a Mazotti reaction, in which what will happen is as you are killing the microfilaria, or at least as you tend to damage the microfilaria, this drug is a main microfilaricidal drug. Okay. Essentially, what will happen is as microfilarial proteins are released because of the death of microfilaria, those proteins will start causing giddiness. They'll start causing a hypersensitivity reaction. You will have allergic reaction, rashes hote, patients को itching होती, pruritus. Okay. Other than that, this drug can also cause abdominal pain and ECG changes. Um, okay. What drugs should you avoid with ivermectin? What drugs should not be given with ivermectin? Or contraindications, let's suppose.
Velaprovir.
Hmm? What are contraindicated drugs?
Valproic acid.
Valproic acid. Valproic acid एक है. Benzodiazepines. BZDs. Why? Why these two specifically? Is there any reason why ivermectin is not supposed to be given with these drugs? Valproic acid and BZDs have a GABA activity influencers. Yes, they themselves influence GABA activity, so it is better to not combine it with ivermectin. Other than that, you should not give it in patients who have meningitis or sleeping sickness, and take the drug on empty stomach. Okay. Avoid in pregnancy. Another thing, avoid in pregnancy, lactation, in women and in children. All of them. वो पूरा में ivermectin नहीं use करना. Okay. Okay. So I'll start off a new chapter now. Antiseptics and disinfectants. Antiseptics and disinfectants. All right. So listen carefully now. Disinfectant is see, essentially both of them will destroy microbes. Okay, it depends on where you are using it and what concentration you're using it, where the difference comes in. Okay, disinfectants are used on inanimate objects, they are used on non-living things. Okay, they cause destruction of all pathogens except spores. Spores will not die because of, so spores cannot be killed using disinfectants. ठीक है, अगर spores भी मार दे रहा, it will become a sterilizing agent, it will not be a disinfectant anymore. All right, disinfectants are cleansing agents that are used on inanimate objects like Dettol. Okay, not Dettol, I would say something stronger because Dettol is a little ambiguous. You'll get Dettol disinfectant, Dettol antiseptic भी मिलता है आपको, but think of a solution. Later on we'll discuss what are disinfectants. Boric acid ले लो, yeah, they are the other disinfectants as well, but these formaldehyde, that is a good example of a disinfectant that will only kill what you call pathogens except spores. If that disinfectant has the capability of killing spores as well, that will be classified under a sterilizing agent. Okay, mainly used on inanimate objects, not on animate objects. Inanimate objects, you can not on living beings essentially. Antiseptics ulta hai. Antiseptics will destroy microbes and can only be used on animate objects or living objects, okay, or living beings. Okay, animals or humans, wherever you are using this. Okay, E- even though यहाँ पर ऐसा distinction आ रहा, both of them are essentially germicidal agents. ठीक है, because they kill germs, both of them can be classified under germicides. ठीक है, they germicide, sometimes the term germicide is used for either of them, so you have to make a distinction clearly कि germicidal disinfectant अलग रहता, germicidal antiseptic अलग रहता. ठीक है, you'll find them in soaps, toothpaste, aftershave lotions, बहुत जगह मिलता है आपको, even in what you call floor cleaners and things like that. Those will be classified under disinfectant. The ones that I mentioned earlier, soaps, toothpaste and all, they will be antiseptic type. Okay, now before going to the drugs itself, I'll tell you the mechanism of action of these drugs. Okay. Now, the way antiseptics or disinfectant work, there will be four main mechanisms of actions. Okay. Sometimes they will work in combination, meaning one drug will have two or more type of mechanism of action, or sometimes they will have any one of these mechanism of actions. Okay. First way these drugs can work is oxidation of bacterial protoplasm. Oxidation of bacterial protoplasm. As the bacterial protoplasm gets oxidized, it will get destroyed. It will lead to death of the bacteria. Simple. Next, denaturation of proteins. Denaturation of bacterial protein, again leading to death. Death of the bacteria, not of the human. Then it'll, some can have a detergent-like action. So detergents जो है, what they will do is essentially they will lower the surface tension of that of the membrane of the bacteria or the solution itself. Essentially, what will happen is because their surface tension is decreasing, outside material will be able to invade into the bacteria. So, for example, let us suppose this is the bacteria. Mm, let us suppose this is the bacteria. Okay. Ab, the surface tension of the bacteria here essentially by its cell wall will make sure that nothing from outside is able to enter inside. Okay, easily. Only selected proteins, selected materials are able to enter inside. Detergent क्या करते हैं? It will reduce this surface tension. Essentially, what it will do is it will damage the cell wall to a certain degree, and it will decrease the surface tension to such a degree that outside materials will be able to invade inside. So you're essentially pumping the bacteria full of outside material, and ultimately, what will happen is that bacteria will burst apart. That is what detergent like action refers to. Okay, detergents will decrease surface tension, because of which outside materials will be able to enter inside the bacteria or whichever organism it is, virus hai, bacteria hai, jo bhi hai, fungi hai, and it will destroy the pathogen from the inside. Okay, that is the third mechanism. Then finally, audio. last mechanism of action will be competing with substrates. Competing with essential substrates for important enzymes. ठीक है, inside the bacterial cell or fungal cell or wherever it is working. ठीक है. So these are the four main mechanisms of action through which any antiseptic or disinfectant will work. Some of them will work by oxidizing the protoplasm of bacteria. Some of them denature the bacterial protein. Some of them will have a detergent-like function. Some of them will not let bacterial or the pathogenic enzymes work properly. Okay? The substrate that is about to attach with that enzyme to form a particular product. Let us suppose there is a product that the bacteria needs for division. Okay? Let us suppose there is a product that the bacteria needs that for division or multiplication, division, whatever you call it. Okay? And now to form that product, that bacteria needs to secrete an enzyme which will bind to a specific substrate and it will get converted into the product. Now what you are doing is by giving this antiseptic or disinfectant, some antiseptics and disinfectant, they will essentially render the substrates useless. They will go and bind with the substrate and they will compete with the substrate. They will inactivate the enzyme essentially. So let us suppose ये substrate है and ये आपका enzyme है. Let us suppose this is the enzyme. Now the substrate has a certain amount of affinity towards the enzyme. Substrate will go and attach to the enzyme and you will end up getting a product. Our antiseptic or disinfectant, this fellow will go and attach to the enzyme faster. Okay, it will have more affinity towards the enzyme when compared to a substrate. So essentially what this fellow is doing is it is taking the same position of substrate. It is competitively inhibiting that substrate or it is competitively inhibiting that enzyme, to put it in another way. Okay, that enzyme will not be able to bind with the substrate anymore and you will not get the product. Ultimately you are not letting the bacteria divide, and sometimes in some cases you will end up killing the bacteria altogether because there will be certain essential proteins that the bacteria requires for normal survival. If you are able to stop the production of those essential proteins as well, the bacteria will invariably die. Okay? That is the last way through which antiseptics and disinfectant works. Now in certain cases you will have certain antiseptics and disinfectants which work in a combination. So some might have an oxidative and denaturing function, some might have these two combinations, some might have these two combination, various combinations, say yeah, singly also. Either way, these are the four main mechanisms through which these antiseptics and disinfectants work. Okay. Later on you'll come across one particular type of disinfectant which will have a slightly different function, but more often than not it will fall in the similar category. ठीक है, एक alkylating agent रहता, ठीक है, that is only one agent that will cause alkylation of the bacterial agent. I'll tell you when we get there, but that is the only other mechanism of action. Okay. Now coming to factors influencing activity of germicidal action. Factors influencing fourth MOA. अच्छा, so fourth mechanism of action kya tha? We were telling that the antiseptic and disinfectant or disinfectant, whatever you are using, is competing with a substrate for that enzyme. So let us suppose this is a bacteria. Let us suppose ये bacteria है, ठीक है? And in this bacteria there are a few enzymes, ठीक है? Let us suppose ऐसा enzymes है. Now this bacteria needs to form certain proteins, certain products for it to work properly. For that bacteria to survive, let's suppose for that bacteria to multiply as well, it needs certain specific things, proteins hona, substrates hona, etc, etc, products hona. Okay. Now to form that product you need a substrate. Okay. Without substrate you cannot have a product. Last year we discussed about a simple enzymatic reaction where you have a substrate will combine with an enzyme, it will form a substrate enzyme complex, substrate enzyme complex will turn into substrate product complex, and you finally get the product out. Sorry, enzyme product complex, not substrate product complex. right? You will get an enzyme product complex and you end up getting an enzyme and a product. Okay, they will separate out. That is how a simple enzymatic reaction will work. Substrate से आप product बना रहे. If you shorten this whole reaction up, substrate plus enzyme is equal to enzyme plus product. ये मिल रहा आपको. Now, in the bacteria, you will have several proteins that are required for normal bacterial survival. Okay? Even if the bacteria wants to survive, if it wants to live and proliferate inside your body, it needs to make certain proteins. ठीक है. अब ये प्रोटीन बनाने के लिए, if we talk about that protein in the form of a product, it is a product. ठीक है. That product is being formed with the help of an enzyme. So for that enzyme to work, it needs to have a certain substrate. A substrate, when this fellow is combining with an enzyme, I'm not going into specifics what substrate will be, what enzyme will be. I'm only telling there is an X substrate and there is one Y enzyme. In the end, you will get a Z product. That Z product is important for the bacterial survival. Here will come your antiseptic or disinfectant. This fellow, what it will do is, अब substrate आके या enzyme को attach होना है ना, this fellow will go and attach much more quicker and with much more affinity. Okay, essentially, the antiseptic or disinfectant will compete with the substrate for that same position on the enzyme. Okay, so let us suppose that enzyme looks something like this. Let us suppose the enzyme looks like this, and you have a substrate which looks like this. Okay, your substrate is supposed to go attach here, and in the end, you are supposed to get a product. Let us suppose this is the product. Okay, but the problem here is, or not the problem actually, what you are doing with the antiseptic is that fellow will, let's suppose that antiseptic looks something like this. Okay, this antiseptic or disinfectant, it will compete with the substrate for that same site. ये एक ही site है, यहाँ पर एक site है enzyme पे. This fellow will go and attach to this site much more quicker than when compared to a substrate. And essentially what will happen is it will block that site. Whenever you have an antiseptic or disinfectant attaching to the enzyme, what will happen is essentially यहाँ पर, see, let us suppose, ठीक है, let us suppose this is the antiseptic or disinfectant. Now that this site has been blocked by the antiseptic and disinfectant, the substrate has no place to go and attach. This thing cannot happen. And because substrate is not able to go and attach, you will not have product formation. And essentially what will happen is eventually there will be certain products that are very, very important for the bacteria to survive, not even to divide and multiply, just to survive. And if those products are not being formed, what will happen? The bacteria will die. That is the mechanism of action. समझ में आया? Okay, if anyone else have any doubts in any of those four mechanisms of actions, please feel free to ask. All right. Now, as I was telling you about factors influencing activity of the germicidal agent, factors influencing germicidal activity, okay, of antiseptic or disinfectant, whatever you are using. First of all, one of the most important components or factors will be concentration of the drug. Concentration of the drug and duration of contact. Because these are essentially external agents, because see, antiseptic and disinfectant you will not drink. Okay, it is not something that will enter systemically inside your body. You will, even if you are using an antiseptic, you are applying it topically. Okay, agar, let's suppose you get an injury, you will not take a bottle of Dettol and drink it. Okay, you'll take a little bit of cotton, so you'll take a swab of cotton, you'll dip it in Dettol and you'll clean the wound. Okay, now because you are using it externally, duration of contact becomes a very, very important factor here. Okay, the longer it is in contact with your wound, the higher chance there will be for it to show its function, essentially to kill as many microbes as possible. Another thing, higher the concentration, greater the effect of that antiseptic or disinfectant. The only exception to this will be alcohol. Now, alcohol, see, as I told you, concentration of drug matters. In most cases, the stronger the concentration, the better the effect. except alcohol. Alcohol will have its highest effect at 70% concentration. ठीक है? Meaning 70% weight by volume alcohol will have the maximum antiseptic effect. If you increase the concentration anymore, let's suppose you make it 80 90, there is a chance that the effect will decrease, or if it will remain the same. It will not improve anymore, but the side effects that you get from alcohol will increase. Okay? There will be certain side effects of using alcohol as an antiseptic, or certain repercussions. Those will increase because you are increasing the concentration, but the effectiveness is not increasing. The effectiveness stops increasing at 70%. Meaning if you're using it at 60%, there will be certain effectiveness. If you move on to 70% alcohol, the effectiveness will increase. From here, if you move to 80%, there is no increase in effectiveness. Essentially, these two will have the same effectiveness, but this will have more side effects. Okay? So keep that in mind. Then second factor, by the way, this alcohol 70% is not something that can be drunk by humans. Okay, the maximum concentration of alcohol that is permissible for humans is around 30-40%, not more than 40%. You will die if you drink that. Okay, you will eventually die even if you drink 40% alcohol, but that's a different discussion. Anyway, then organism susceptibility. Okay, now, even if you're using, let's suppose antiseptic and disinfectant, let us suppose it is a gram-negative antiseptic, gram-negative bacteria, or certain strain of bacteria that does not respond to the antiseptic or disinfectant, it will be completely useless. Generally speaking, spores and viruses are resistant to antiseptics. If there is a bacterial spore, or if there are fungal spores, or क्या बोलते viral infection है, in that scenario antiseptics will not work at all. Okay, completely useless. So organism susceptibility plays an important role in determining whether that germicidal agent will have any activity altogether on the pathogen. Then temperature. Okay, higher the temperature, increased antiseptic activity. Okay, just remember it that way. I'm not going to go into details about that, but generally speaking, the higher the temperature will be. If you increase the temperature of using the antiseptic activity will also increase. Essentially, you rub the site a little bit before using the antiseptic if possible, or you warm the antiseptic and give it. Either way is fine, but don't boil it. Anyway, then coming to the main drugs that will come in these antiseptics and disinfectants, essentially they are about 9 to 10 different classes of drugs that will fall under antiseptics and disinfectants. We'll go after them one after the other. First of all, acids. Now, acids there are two main acids. You have boric acid and benzoic acid. Both of them have weak bacterial effect and fungistatic effect. Okay? Especially benzoic acid. Now, we'll not be discussing the PKPD properties in this because you're not essentially taking the drug inside. It's not entering your systemic circulation. It's only being used topically. So, adverse effects भी जो होते हैं वो mostly topically ही रहते हैं. Okay. This drug works as an antibacterial if the pH is maintained at less than 5. Okay. And it has antifungal activity as well. Sometimes you can use benzoic acid as a preservative in certain laboratory experiments, and to store certain objects, you can use benzoic acid as a preservative. Okay. Then comes alcohols. Very small description about them. You don't have a lot of detail at your level. Okay, and that much also is enough. Alcohols में main alcohol आता है ethyl alcohol, ethanol भी जिसको बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Now ethanol is antiseptic at a concentration of 60 to 90%. Okay, if you go beyond 90, there will be no increase in antiseptic effect. Instead, there can be a decrease in antiseptic effect as well as increase in possible side effects. Okay, this class is ending. I'll send you another link. Join that one.